Εξομολογήστε το Κύριο διαγραφός, αλληλούια, ότι στον αιώνα το έλεος αυτού, αλληλούια.
All right, guys. I'm well, thanks be to God. How are you, bro? So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to give a talk. I want to give a talk about the poppy that just got released today. Not today, but released this season. The LGBTQ poppy that we had, that was given out recently. So let me just find where I am. So, I want to start off by just giving a bit of a history lesson about the poppy. And the red poppy was used as a symbol of remembrance as its origins in World War I. And it's particularly associated with fallen British soldiers, particularly because of a poem called Flanders Field. And I would just ask, guys, if you want to have a conversation, maybe take it somewhere else, guys. If you want to have a conversation, lads, if you want to have a conversation, if you just want to take it somewhere else. Yeah. So the poem in Flanders Field, which was written by Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae, who was a Canadian doctor who served on the Western Front, is what popularized the idea of the poppy's association with fallen soldiers. And the idea of using the poppy as a symbol was connected by Moynia Michael, who was inspired by McCrae's poem in 1918. And she vowed to wear a poppy as a symbol of remembrance for those who had died in the war and in campaigns. Now, following the American Legion's adoption of the poppy, it spread throughout all Allied countries. And in the UK, the Royal British Legion, which was founded in 1921, began selling paper poppies to raise funds for veterans, a practice that has continued every year since, particularly connected to Remembrance Day on November the 11th. Now, every year of my adult life, I've wore a red poppy. And on many videos around this time of year, you will have seen me wearing a red poppy. But as you can see this year, I'm not wearing a red poppy. That isn't because I don't support helping veterans. I'm still going to donate to a veterans charity. But for 1 year, I'm going to boycott wearing the red poppy because of the way that the red poppy has been politicized in a divisive way. This year, the Royal British Legion released an LGBTQT plus poppy with the rainbow flag attached to the poppy to represent all of the homosexuals and bisexuals and asexuals and transvestites and transsexuals that have died in wars in the British Armed Forces. Now, ladies and gentlemen, why do I object to this?
Why?
I object to this for a very simple reason. Why does the LGBTQ get a special poppy? Why, ladies and gentlemen, has that minority been been singled out as deserving of more praise and of more special attention than any other minority group that served in the British Army. Why, ladies and gentlemen, doesn't the British Army release a Sikh poppy to represent the fact that around 10,000 Sikh soldiers have died on active service for the British Army? Here's an idea of what that poppy could look like. It could be an orange leaf poppy with the crossed swords, which is with the symbol of the Sikh faith, on the button of the poppy. Why can't they have a special poppy, since they were also a minority that fought and died in the British Armed Forces? Why, ladies and gentlemen, if the LGBTQ community can have a special poppy for them, that the Caribbean soldiers who have fought and died in the British Army since 1790 cannot have a special poppy for them, 16,000 of which served with the British Army in World War I, and 1,200 of which died in the same fields that white British soldiers died in, that LGBTQ gay and bisexual soldiers died in. Why can't they have a special poppy? Here's what I suggest it should look like: an inversion of the colours. Black leaves, red dot. Why can't they have a special poppy? The reason why I object to the LGBTQ poppy that was released this year is because it puts gay and bisexual soldiers as a cut above the rest, as if somehow they are special. The reason why the red poppy that some of you are wearing today, and I laud and applaud you for it, represents every soldier, whether they were a Sikh from India, whether they were a black Caribbean, whether they were a white Englishman, or whether they were a Jew, or whether they were gay or straight. The reason why we only need one poppy is because the blood of every soldier runs the same. It runs red. And they died the same. On Flanders fields, on the fields in Burma, on the fields of Normandy, the beaches of Normandy, in the deserts of North Africa. They died the same, and one poppy is enough to represent them all. Ladies and gentlemen, this LGBTQT plus ideology is a religion of our elites, and that rainbow flag is nothing but a religious symbol to a cult that dominates our social elites. And that's why it is unquestionable to object to the idea of the LGBTQ poppy, despite the fact that the red poppy represents every soldier. The LGBTQ community is represented by the red poppy, as is every soldier that has ever died in the British Armed Forces. When those soldiers died, they didn't think to themselves, oh, I'm dying for a special category of people. They were dying for their comrades and for their friends and for their country and for their king and queen. And to create a special kind of poppy that represents one group over the all insults the memory of the other soldiers. And so I invite the LGBTQ community to object to this poppy, and for every minority group to object to this poppy. Right now, Christians are a minority in the British Army.
Good news.
So when will we have a minority poppy for Christians? Ladies and gentlemen, that poppy doesn't need to be changed or revised, and I invite the Royal British Legion to discontinue its connection to that poppy. There is only one poppy needed for all soldiers, and that's the red poppy that I will be wearing again next year. Any questions?
Is this the poppy one?
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's the poppy. Why do they have their own special poppy? What about other minority groups? Why can't we have a Jewish poppy now? Or a Caribbean poppy? Or a Sikh poppy? Or a Hindu poppy? Or a Muslim poppy? Or a Christian poppy? Why does this group get special attention? Why? Because it is a religion of the elites, and they believe that everything about our society should be transformed to represent their religious devotions to the religion of self and the religion of sex. Any other questions? Okay, ladies and gentlemen, if there are no other questions, I'm going to go on to another topic.
Can I ask one quickly? Do you know
Yeah.
why it is that they chose the symbol of the rainbow over any other symbol? Whether there's anything to that or not?
The gay community appropriated the rainbow flag from the Christian church. The rainbow flag represents the covenant that God gave to Noah because of the rainbow that God put in the sky. It is a symbol of hope against a symbol of God's mercy over God's judgment. For God swore that he would never flood the earth again. And the gay community appropriated that symbol for their own politics, ladies and gentlemen. It is a Christian symbol, and it's a symbol that we Christians should reclaim as our own.